Do you have siblings? I do, and my childhood would not have been the same without them. We had good times and bad times, like extremely bad times. Like the time I knocked out my 2 front teeth on the door frame while running away from my brother. It was traumatic. Well, today we are going to be watching My Story animated true animations all about bad siblings. If you're enjoying these animated stories, do consider leaving a like on the video. And I've also left a playlist in the description with a bunch more that you can check out after if you're interested. So now let's get into our first story, which is called My Sisters Are Jealous Because I'm a Famous Gamer.
I was 6 years old. I got my mom
She's
a
so
beautiful
cute.
chess box. I'd been saving my pocket money for months to buy it. Look what I got you,
Aw.
Mommy. Happy birthday. Mom looked at the box for a few seconds,
Why is she
then
mad?
threw it on the floor and stomped on it.
Oh my gosh, this little child has been saving up her pocket money for her mum's present and her mum hates it.
What a stupid gift. What am I supposed to do with this? Can't you ever be normal
I
like your
hate
sisters?
her.
And she threw it in the garbage.
Awful.
Just then, my 2 older sisters came running in and handed Mom their present. It was a mug with a picture of the 3 of them printed on it.
Wow, a mug. So original, so creative. I can't believe she was happier with a mug than a chessboard. You know, a game that you can actually play and interact with people. But no, a ceramic mug.
I wasn't even in the picture. Mom gave them a tight hug and said it was the best birthday present ever. I burst into tears and shut myself up in my room.
Poor girl.
I took out my own chess set and started playing. Chess was my thing. I was obsessed with it.
Aw.
Dad had left us when we were little because he thought that marriage and kids was too much responsibility for him.
He also probably thought his wife was awful because she's acting like it.
I looked exactly like my dad, so Mom took out all her anger on me. Anything I did seemed to get on her nerves. Even my older sisters seemed to hate me, and they blamed me for everything.
Aw.
One time they failed all their exams, and they said it was my fault. She always has
What?
company over to play chess, and they make so much noise. We weren't able to study for the tests. What? Mom started shouting at me and said I had to clean their rooms for a month to make up for my poor sisters. I'd had enough. In your dreams, Mom. And I walked off and locked myself up in my room.
This poor girl, I really feel for her. Also having to clean up her sister's bedrooms for a whole month. That is a crazy punishment for a 6-year-old.
I didn't come out for the next few days. I just kept playing chess alone. One day, when I was in the 3rd grade, I invited a friend over to my place. He was my chess partner at school. I was
Aw.
afraid my family would be rude to him, but they seemed delighted to have him over. My sisters ran to the store and came back with a huge basket of chocolates and toys for him.
What?
They were practically drooling over him, which is so gross. Seriously? Why are you friends with Mia? She's such a loser. Be our friend instead. No. Be our brother and come live with us. That's even better. He looked completely terrified and ran out of my house as fast as he could.
I don't blame him. Those girls are literally crazy, and if I went over to somebody's house and they were like, live with us, I would run away too.
I yelled at Mom and my sisters, but they said it was my fault, and
How?
every guy just left because of me.
That's not
Turned out
true.
my family wasn't the only one who hated me. When I was in the 5th grade, our history teacher started off the lesson by saying, millions of years ago, when humans and dinosaurs used to live together, it was only safe for men to go out at night for food.
What?
Wait, what? I raised my hand. Ma'am, that's just not true. The teacher glared at me. What's not true? Dinosaurs and humans never coexisted. Of course they did.
What?
Haven't you seen all those movies where people are running away from the dinosaurs? That's fiction, ma'am. Humans actually came 64 million years after dinosaurs became extinct. Stop making things up. You're really rude.
I can't believe this teacher thinks Jurassic Park is real. How did she get a job as a teacher? She's obviously stupid.
And I'm going to call your mom. When the teacher called her, Mom said she already knew I was a bad girl,
Oh
and
my
she was too
gosh.
busy to come and get me. Just send her home. She can walk. As I was packing up my stuff to leave, I was called into the principal's office.
Okay.
Oh no.
Why?
Was I in more trouble? Feeling really nervous, I went to the principal's office and found him beaming at me.
Oh.
Congratulations, Mia. You'll be bumped up a grade because you're a brilliant kid. I was thrilled. This was sure to make Mom happy. When I got home and told her, she jumped up from the couch in shock. Oh my God. This is the worst news ever. Am I going to have to buy you new books?
Shouldn't she be proud of her daughter? What the heck? I really don't like this mother. She has all the wrong priorities. All she cares about is having to buy new books. Girl, you have a genius as a child.
I was so disappointed. Just as I was walking out of the room,
Poor
I heard her
girl.
say, Mia, you know what? Education means nothing if you're not pretty like your sisters.
What?
Ugh, why did she have to be like this? I was moved up a grade and started spending more time at the local library.
Clever girl.
At least I got some peace and quiet there. One day, I saw a flyer on the board about a monthly chess competition.
Fun.
And I decided to participate. I was easily able to beat my competitor, and I won a small amount of money. Of course, I didn't tell anyone at home about the money I'd won.
Amazing.
This was going to be my little secret. One day at the library, an old blind man came up to me. I'd often seen him here before, sitting alone. He smiled at me.
Aw.
Wanna play chess with me, little hero? I laughed and said I'd beat him easily. He simply said, try me. So I
Ooh,
played with
okay.
him, and to my shock, I lost. You're talented, but you need more practice. After several months had passed and we had been playing together daily,
What?
the blind man said one day that I was ready.
Is the blind man actually blind? Like, how does he know how to play chess? How can he see where all the pieces are? I'm very curious.
For what? The international competition I've been preparing you for.
Oh.
I'd won more local competitions and had some money saved up. There was no way I was telling Mom where I was really going. I told her that Dad had contacted me and sent me a ticket to visit him. Whatever. Do you think I care about what you do? I went to the competition with the blind man and a few other competitors from my area. It was a really tough game, but I used all my wits and knowledge and won.
Go, girl.
And my prize was $200,000.
Oh my gosh.
When I stepped forward to collect my check, the organizers asked me my age, and then they refused to give me my money. They said I needed a legal guardian, and the blind man wasn't even related to me.
No way.
Despite all my protests, they called my mom and said they'd transfer the money to her. When I got home that evening, Mom ran to me and smothered me with hugs and kisses.
And now she's happy.
I knew she was just after my money. She'd made all my favorite things for dinner, and at the end of it, she brought out a huge chocolate cake with candles.
What?
But Mom, it's not even my birthday. Do I need a reason to celebrate my favorite daughter?
Oh, so now she's bringing in thousands of dollars. She's suddenly the favorite daughter. This mother is ridiculous and I don't like her.
Come now, darling. Blow out the candles. My sisters kept glaring at me all night like they wanted to
Good.
eat me. They were really unhappy. The next night when I got back from the library, I saw a sleazy-looking guy in his 50s sitting on the couch.
Who?
He took one look at me and said, "Oh my God, your mom really wasn't kidding. You're ugly." I felt really mad and told him to
What?
shut up and leave immediately. Oh, ugly and rude? May God help your mama. He walked out of the house, slamming the door behind him.
Who
Just
is
then,
he?
Mom came running into the lounge with a tray of drinks. Where did the man go? I told her he was really rude to me, so I'd told him to get lost. The tray went crashing from Mom's hands to the floor. You what? Stupid girl. Do you have any idea what you've done?
Who is
That
he?
guy is a big shot businessman who can turn us into the future Kardashians.
What?
I was horrified. I told her there was no way I was getting plastic surgeries done to make me look so fake. Fine, your sisters will. I yelled at her. You can't use my money to get those stupid surgeries.
What?
Stop being so melodramatic, honey.
What is going on? Why is the mum wanting everybody to get plastic surgery and become the Kardashians?
Just participate in another competition and win some more money. Simple. I threatened to call Dad and said I would sue her, but she just laughed like a maniac and said he'd
Wow.
probably forgotten all about his ugly daughter by now. I ran to my room and screamed into my pillow in anger. I hated her. Since my older sister Amanda was 19, she was legally allowed to have plastic surgeries. Her face looked so different now, I could no longer even recognize her. But Mom thought it was amazing. Darling, you're going to make us so rich with that beautiful face. You look just like a Hollywood star.
Oh my gosh. What was that face? She's definitely ruined herself. And that's why not all plastic surgery is good.
You look just like a Hollywood star. Amanda looked at her and said, "Yeah, I've been meaning to tell you. I'm going to be a Hollywood star. I've been offered a really great role in a huge movie."
Oh.
Mom looked beyond delighted. Well, that's perfect. You'll make us all tons of money. Yeah, right, Mom. I'm leaving for good and don't expect a penny. Just forget you even have a daughter named Amanda. Just then, a black limousine drove up outside our house, and with a bye, Amanda hopped in and left.
So
Mom stood there with her mouth open, then turned to me, glaring. You better participate in a new competition and make more money soon, or else. No way. And with that, I walked off to my room. I was quite surprised when Katya followed me a little later on. She said it was really unfair how Mom had wasted all my money on Amanda. Her eyes fell on my chess set, and she asked me if I would teach her. I was really happy that someone was finally taking an interest and said, sure, why not? We had a great time playing chess all evening. The next day when I opened up YouTube, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It looked like Mom had been filming us while I'd been teaching Katya last evening. What? And the two of them had edited the footage to make it look like she was the professional and I was the beginner. What? Thankfully, my face was covered, but I was so mad.
What do they gain from doing that, though? Making her sister look like she's a good chess player even though she's never played before? I am so confused.
I went downstairs to find the two of them huddled over their phones and talking excitedly about how many likes and comments they had on the video already. I started yelling at them for being a bunch of frauds. Mom just looked up at me and said, listen, the video is already out and people love it. They can hardly believe that a beautiful girl like Katya is such a genius. So, here's our plan. You keep doing your crazy thing and practice chess and play online, and Katya will record you and post videos. It'll only be like 3 videos a week.
That's a lot.
Seriously? Mom was just shameless. Why on earth would I do that? Because we'll give you your share of the money, and then you can finally leave for good.
Really,
I don't care if you do, but only after your sister is famous. Okay, that sounded fair to me. So I shook hands with her on it. It was a deal. Things went fine for a while. I was doing what I loved, and my sister kept making videos of me and uploading them. The channel was getting more popular, and Katya was getting really famous. I finally had the peace and quiet I always dreamed of. Most evenings, I was busy studying in the library and working on my plan to get out of here. One night, I got a letter and started screaming with joy.
Why?
When Mom asked me why, I told her that I'd been accepted for a scholarship.
No way!
And I was going to China as an exchange student. I thought Mom wouldn't even care. But she went completely nuts. She tried snatching the letter from me, but I quickly slipped it inside my shirt. She kept shouting that I couldn't go and just leave all of her hard work she had put into making the channel famous. But I wasn't listening to her nonsense anymore. I was done. And I was leaving.
You go, girl.
The blind man is really unwell. He's asking for you, Mia. He needs his little friend. I felt shocked and immediately ran out of the house to go see him. When I reached his place, the front door was half open. I walked inside and it was all dark. I kept calling his name, but there was no response. After I'd searched the whole house, I left feeling really worried. When I got back home, Katya went down on her knees and started crying, begging me to stay. I turned to Mom and asked her what had happened to the blind man. Oh, he's fine. He doesn't live at that address anymore. And I just said all that stuff, so I had a chance to tear up your passport. As I stared at it in horror, every horrible thing she'd ever said and done came rushing back to me.
Basically, she didn't want her to go to China, so she stopped that. And she lied about the blind man, which is incredibly cruel. Why would she say that if it wasn't true? Well, I think we all know why. She's evil.
And I just snapped. I leapt forward to attack her, but Katya stood up quickly and came between us. Suddenly, Mom said that she felt dizzy and fell back on the couch. I need a doctor. When the doctor came and examined Mom, he told us something really shocking. Mom had broken heart syndrome.
What?
She needed really good care, and we had to make sure she didn't have any stress. As I sat by her bedside, she took my hand and started crying and apologizing for everything she'd done. She sobbed that it was only because I reminded her so much of Dad. At that moment, I felt really sorry for her. Then she showed me the heart-shaped necklace she'd been wearing for years.
What is
Looking at it closely, I was shocked to see my name carved on
Aww.
it. See? My precious daughter.
She does
I've
care.
always loved you, but I was never any good at expressing my emotions. I cherish you so much. Please forgive me. I hugged my mom and cried on her chest.
Cute.
From that day on, I just wanted to make mom happy. I went back to making chess videos with Katya, and I started participating in more competitions and made a lot of money. The smile on mom's face was everything for me. After I graduated from high school at 16, I had a really important international competition coming up. I practiced with the blind man day after day, and I told him I really needed to win this for mom. He looked at me solemnly and said, "Kid, the only person you should work hard for is you. Make yourself proud." I didn't want to argue with him, so I just nodded. He wouldn't understand. I just wanted mom to be really proud to have me as her daughter.
I like how she nodded and he's literally blind, like he can't see. Also, I still haven't forgiven the mum. Just because she wore a necklace saying Mia doesn't mean that she's nice.
The day of the big competition arrived, and mom and Katya traveled with me to another state.
Ooh.
I was really glad to have them by my side for support, especially mom. Minutes before the competition started, I felt really nervous and wanted mom to hug me for good luck. I went looking for her backstage. When I saw her and Katya talking, what I heard left me shook.
Doesn't look good.
Ugh, Mom, I'm so tired of this. How long are we supposed to suck up to Mia? I told you. Not before I make a fortune out of that girl's stupid gift.
I knew it.
Why can't you just send her to Dad? You never had to raise a child that isn't yours. That jerk. He left and thought I'd just raise his child for free. I couldn't believe it.
I told you. I knew she was still evil.
I stood frozen in my spot. I wanted to yell at them, but I couldn't even speak.
Not good.
Just then a lady came and dragged me by the arm, saying it was my turn next. As I stepped on the stage, my legs were shaking. My mind felt completely blank. I didn't know what to do or how to play this game. It felt like the whole world was staring at me. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. I pushed out everything from my mind and only thought about what the blind man had said. I had to do this for me. I played the best game of my life.
Good.
I could feel the audience's excitement as they started cheering and clapping for me. Checkmate. I had won. The announcer handed me a check for $500,000. When he asked me how I felt, I replied, "I've never felt happier in my life. Today, I gained my freedom.
Yes.
As for the money, I want to donate all of it to charity. Thank you."
Wow.
Mom came running to the stage, screaming like a lunatic. "You can't do that, you crazy little brat." I looked at her coldly. "You're not the boss of me. You're not even my mom. You're no one." Security guards stepped forward and took her away. Today, years later, I'm a medical student. I'm living my best life and still helping others. And the blind man, he is my best friend.
Oh, wow, that was a crazy story. And I can't believe that family, they were so rude. We now have another story all about a jealous sister who went too far.
My mom gave birth to 2 identical twins, me and my sister Mila. Unfortunately, we were only a month old when my parents divorced. Mom took Mila to the city while I stayed in the village with Dad. Dad was my only friend because growing up, I was super shy and preferred to read and write stories in my journal than play with other kids.
Cute.
Are you sure you want to spend another Friday night alone, sweetie? Don't worry, Dad. I'm fine. Aren't you happy I'm not going to any wild parties or dating any boys?
It makes me sad how they split the twins up though, especially because they were identical twins, like they should be growing up together.
Then one day when I was 16, I got a strange visitor.
Oh.
Hi, Tiana. Oh, you're all grown up now and so
Is that her
beautiful.
mom?
Thanks. Do I know you?
Wow, I guess your dad never mentioned me much or kept any pictures. I'm your mom.
No way.
You're joking, right? But she wasn't. Instead, Dad came over and the 2 of them sat down with me in the living room.
All right, I let you come over because you said you had an emergency. So
is it?
what's going on?
It's Tiana's sister, Mila. She's a model and makes a lot of money, but she started struggling with mental illness and suddenly quit. Now, if she doesn't complete her contract, we'll be sued for a crazy amount of money. Tiana has to fill in for her. No one will know. I may have to trim her bangs a bit, though.
Wait, what? This is the emergency?
What a stupid and twisted thing to ask your daughter that you haven't seen in 16
Yeah,
years.
that's crazy.
Get out of my house. right now.
I don't blame the dad for reacting that way because it's a crazy proposition. She's having to step in and pretend to be her identical twin that she's never met before. Also, her identical twin is a famous model. That's also crazy.
They started arguing and I didn't know what to do. So I just slipped out of the room
Oh my
and tried to
gosh.
calm myself down. But Mom just wouldn't give up. And the next day, she made me a crazy offer.
Okay.
Your father mentioned you write stories and that it's your dream to become a famous author. What if I told you I knew an agency that could publish your work and pay you a fortune?
How could I say no to something like that? After that, I convinced Dad to do the modeling contract and finally, he agreed. So, I moved to the city where Mom and Mila lived in a mansion. Mom greeted me at the door and hugged me tightly. I still wasn't entirely comfortable with her, but it was nice to feel welcome.
You'll meet Mila later today. She doesn't leave her bedroom. She even has dinner there.
You mean I'll only see her if I come upstairs with you? Doesn't she ever leave the house? Mom didn't answer. She just snapped her fingers and ordered some servants to get me settled in my room.
Wednesday?
God, this place was so different from what I was used to.
Oh.
And I was curious to meet my mysterious sister, too. That evening, I was reading in my room when I heard a scream outside my room. I went into the hallway to
it?
find the maid covered in food. That's when I also saw Mom and Mila. I told her I wanted pizza for dinner, not these soggy vegetables.
Of course, baby. Our mistake. But pizza's
What?
not good for you right now. We'll get you the tastiest salad ever. I'll give you a raise, all right? I can't have another servant quit because of her.
You always do this, Mom. I don't want a salad. If I don't get a pizza right now, I'll take all of your gold jewelry and give it to the neighbor's dog to chew on and
What?
then throw up. Excuse me, but don't speak to your mom like that. And you certainly didn't need to throw food at your maid.
True.
This is my twin sister, Mom. She has a lot of nerve for a house guest. Also, we may look identical, but her skin is way more blotchy than mine. You should tell the photographer that beforehand. Jeez, this girl was something else. I went off to bed after that, and Mom told me not to take Mila's behavior personally.
I just want her to be happy and healthy.
The next day, I arrived on set when suddenly I noticed everyone glaring at me and whispering
Why?
angrily. What was going on? Hey, why is everyone here giving me dirty looks? Did I do something wrong?
Ugh, you're here? I thought you quit after you humiliated me in front of thousands of people. Also, you
What?
bullied every single person on set since you started working here, Mila. They were hoping they'd never see you again after you left.
What? I bullied everybody here? And what did I do to you?
We all know her twin sister is a little bit bratty, so I'm not surprised that everybody hates her on set. But this is not good, because she's not her identical twin.
I mean, I didn't take my meds this morning, so I forgot what happened. Can
Good
you remind
excuse.
me?
Ugh, give me a break.
Mila had apparently done a lot of horrible things because every person around me acted like I was some kind of monster. I called Mom and told her what had happened.
You must have spoken with Vlad, Mila's coworker and ex-boyfriend. She dumped him publicly during an acceptance speech for an award show and said some mean things. Just focus on your work, honey. He's not your problem.
I knew Mom was right, so the next day, I ignored all the death stares and kept to myself. But later that afternoon, Vlad and I had to do a photo shoot together. The photographer was about to start when suddenly she started freaking out.
Why?
I cannot work like this, Vlad. How much weight did you gain? The costume designers worked really hard and you... Ugh, forget it.
What?
I'm requesting a different model. What? Why? We've been rehearsing this for weeks and I haven't gained any weight.
He really does look great. Maybe his suit just has to be tailored a bit. The photographer wouldn't listen and Vlad stormed off with tears in his eyes.
Aw.
Vlad, don't listen to that photographer.
Modeling can be so harsh. They care so much about your weight, and that's just not nice.
You're in great shape. I don't get why she had to be such a jerk.
Well, she wasn't totally wrong. I have put on a little weight.
Aw.
I'm surprised you didn't make fun of me about it.
Have I made fun of your body in the past?
You made fun of it in front of thousands of people during your award speech. You said you were dumping me because I didn't have abs anymore.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Well, I'd like to apologize for that. The truth is, I think you're really brave for doing a job like this. I hate having my picture taken. I mean, even though I'm a model, the point is, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I really didn't expect an apology from you.
Aw.
We're still broken up, but Thanks for that. After our talk, Vlad was nicer to me, which made my job a lot easier.
Basically, she's going around and repairing all of her sister's relationships, and I hope her sister is grateful.
One day, I headed to the den to watch some TV when I saw Mila sitting on the couch. What are you doing here? What do you mean? This is my house, isn't it? Yeah, but I thought you never came out of your room. I don't, but my room doesn't have a TV, and I like watching my MSA videos on a big screen. You watch MSA too? They're my favorite YouTube channel. Their stories are what inspired me to become a writer.
This is
I don't
meta.
care. You can watch with me as long as you keep your mouth shut. I decided to take the opportunity to spend time with Mila. She obviously had some issues, and I was curious to know more about her. As we were watching videos, Mila's phone suddenly rang and she looked annoyed.
Why?
Is Vlad calling me? My heart started racing as Mila answered the phone. Apparently, Vlad had called to ask her out to coffee. He said he's glad we're getting along better lately and that I seem happier and healthier. Did you flirt with him or something?
Yikes.
What? No, we're just friendly coworkers. Listen to me. At your job, you're not Tiana, you're Mila. And Mila doesn't want you talking to Vlad at all.
Yikes.
I still love him. You love him, and yet you dumped and publicly body shamed him? Look, I'm not interested in your ex-boyfriend, but I'm allowed to be his friend. He's not your property, and he deserves to be around someone who doesn't mistreat him.
True.
I left before Mila could answer, and the next morning at work, I told Vlad I was sorry if I was rude to him on the phone and that I was happy to hang out.
I really don't have time for your games, Mila.
Oh no.
I'm not playing games, dude. Just whatever you do, don't call or text me on that number again. I got a new number. I convinced Vlad to let me buy him coffee, and as we were walking to a cafe, I saw a lady come up to us with a little girl behind her. I'm so sorry to bother you, but my daughter is a big fan and I wanted to say hi. She's just a little shy. You don't have to feel shy. I'm just a normal girl at the end of the day, like you.
That's
Did
so
your mom buy you this
cute.
pretty scarf? Actually, I got it as a present from my agency. Do you want it? I think you'd look even better in it than I do.
I love her. She is so kind. And I'm really glad that she's hanging out with Vlad because they both deserve it. Meanwhile, her evil twin sister doesn't.
No, we can't possibly accept that from you.
Mila, that scarf costs thousands of...
It's okay, really. I want her to have it. The
Aw.
girl was starry-eyed and her mom thanked me over and over.
Wow, I can't believe you just did that. You've changed a lot during your vacation, haven't you? Are you in therapy now or something?
I guess you could say that. Vlad insisted on buying me coffee instead of the other way around. And I even got some free pastries since the cashier was also a fan of Mila. I was living like royalty pretending to be her. And my life as a model just kept getting better. I was getting huge business deals because everyone was amazed at how Mila had apparently made a comeback. But my success drove my sister totally
I
wild.
bet.
You're just living your perfect life, aren't you? Oh no, wait. You're living my life. The only reason I'm even here is because you sabotaged your career with your awful behavior.
Yeah.
Mila just threw a pillow at my head and walked off. What a brat. As more time passed, I also started hanging out with Vlad and we became really close. But I was always hesitant to tell him about my real identity. One night, he walked me home and when we arrived in front of the house, he took my hand and I felt my knees go weak.
I had such a lovely day with
Aw.
you. You seem a lot happier and healthier lately. Or maybe I'm just seeing a different side of you.
Or seeing a different version of you, seeing your sister. This is really awkward because if she tells the truth, she risks Vlad falling out with her. He might feel lied to and betrayed.
Suddenly, he leaned in to kiss me and I found myself pulling away.
Oh no.
Vlad, I'm sorry, but I can't kiss you.
What do you mean? I want to give us a second chance because you're the new you.
I know, but things with me are more complicated than they look. I have to go, I'm sorry. I quickly
Aw.
snuck inside the house, but when I closed the door, I saw Mila leaning against the wall, and she looked enraged.
I bet.
I saw you two from my bedroom window, Tiana. I told you to stay away from Vlad. I know we haven't grown up together, but you're still my sister, and sisters don't steal each other's boyfriends.
Awkward.
I'm not stealing anything from you. He tried to kiss me and I refused. But if you still love him, you should reach out and apologize.
Yeah.
Do you think I haven't done that? He won't take me back, Tiana. I know it doesn't look like it, but I am trying to work on myself and become a better person. Hurting Vlad was the biggest regret of my life. I didn't know how to respond to that. And as I lay in bed, I felt torn about what to do. I did have feelings for Vlad, and Mila had been horrible to him, but I still didn't want to hurt her. So the next day at work, I told Vlad I only wanted to be friends.
But why? Is there something you're not telling me?
It's just that suddenly I saw something that made me forget what I wanted to say. The director was putting an envelope next to my purse, and it had my name on it. I left Vlad right away to see what it was. Excuse me, what's in this bag? The menu for your new diet. You have a photo shoot coming up this month and you need to drop some weight. What do you mean I have to drop some weight? This diet is insane. I could get sick.
That's ridiculous. We've given you this diet many times and you were fine. So can you do your job and follow this diet? Or are you going to go crazy and have a mental breakdown again?
I felt like the ground beneath me had collapsed. This was how the agency had treated Mila when she was here?
No wonder Mila is so rude if she's having to do these crazy diets and be treated this way. Being a model is super hard, and I am not jealous.
No wonder she'd been struggling.
Yeah.
I had to see her right away. I went home and knocked on Mila's door, but there was no answer. Then suddenly, I smelled something weird coming from underneath the floor.
What?
So I opened the door, and my heart dropped. Mila's entire bedroom was covered with dirty plates, and there was food under her bed that she'd snuck in from the kitchen. At that second, Mila's bathroom door opened. Oh my God, get out! This is a total invasion of privacy! Mila, what is all this? The director gave me the diet menu today, and she said she's always given it to you whenever you put on weight. I thought it was a harmless diet, but they kept telling me that I was still too heavy. But I'd get hungry and stuff my face, and the pressure to look perfect got to me. And then I projected my own insecurities onto Vlad. Tiana, I was never jealous of you. I just didn't want you to suffer like I did. Oh my God, I had no idea. I am so sorry. But it doesn't excuse my behavior. It's turned me into a monster. I hugged Mila tight and let her cry for a while. And after that, we went straight to the agency to take care of business.
I'm so glad that these siblings have reunited and now have a really great relationship.
But when we arrived, Mom was there. And when she saw Mila, she freaked.
Why?
What is she doing here? Tiana, I came here to help you sign a contract for a new business deal. We could get into huge trouble if someone sees you two together.
Forget it, Mom. I'm not filling in for Mila anymore. I'm done. You care more about money than you do your daughter's health and well-being.
True.
This agency totally mistreated Mila and the other models. And if I stay any longer, I'll go down the same dark path she did.
Oh, Tiana, don't be overly dramatic. Mila's breakdown had nothing to do with the agency.
Mila was about to answer when we heard footsteps behind us. And when we turned around, it was Vlad. I hadn't spoken to him since the other day.
Oh, no.
His eyes got huge as he stared at Mila and me.
Mila? You have a twin?
Actually, I'm not Mila. My name is Tiana, and I've been secretly filling in for Mila since last month. She didn't want to continue modeling, but they were going to sue us, and she quit before her contract ended, and it was her you've been hanging out with this whole time.
I don't understand. So you both lied to me and the whole world about all this?
Yeah.
It wasn't our choice. It was... Vlad walked away before I could finish,
no.
and I was devastated. I wanted to go after him, but I had to take care of other things first.
I thought this would happen.
I called Dad right away, and with his help, we filed a lawsuit against both the
Good.
agency and Mom for mistreatment and fraud. Dad got custody of Mila and got her the therapy she needed, and I was
Good.
still able to get my stories published. But our little switcheroo was all over the news, and Vlad was still ignoring our calls. Then one day, Vlad texted me to meet him at a cafe, but he said he didn't want to talk to Mila. That was weird.
Very weird.
So, talk to me. How come you asked me to come here, but not Mila?
Because you're the one I want to be with, Tiana. You're a better person than Mila is. I was hurt that you lied, but I know you had your reasons.
Okay.
I'm not a better person than Mila.
Okay.
I just had it way easier than her. She still loves you and wants a second chance.
But she hurt me too deeply, and I don't think I can ever love her the same. You're the one I want to be with.
My heart raced as Vlad took my hands, and I stared into his deep,
What is she
dark
gonna
eyes.
do?
Vlad, maybe someday we can be together. But right now, I have to focus on myself.
Oh,
I've been
Vlad.
living my sister's life for too long, and I've lost touch with who I am. Still, I've loved every moment I spent with you.
Oh.
Me too. Good luck, Tiana.
I am so glad the twins got reunited, but I'm really upset that she couldn't be with Vlad because I thought they were the cutest couple ever. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm gonna leave the video today. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, remember to leave a like, and if you want to see another video from me, you can click on one of these, and I'll see you over there.